welcome to another SecretEntourage.com video. Today we have the pleasure of talking to Ali Maadelat, owner of Lorenz Marketing Group. Now, this is a very interesting marketing group because from what I understand, you guys do much more than just online marketing.
Yes.
And so thank you for joining us, first off.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm looking forward to hearing more about the story. So before we get into what the Lorenz Marketing Group is, tell us a little bit about your background and how you even started or got to the whole phase of marketing as your niche.
Well, essentially what happened is I grew up with my mother. She was a single mother. My dad had actually left her when she was pregnant. And we were living at that point in an apartment in Los Angeles. It was just me and her. And it was not a horrible place. It was a 2-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles. And for the longest time, my mother's main goal in life was just to have a house of her own. And she worked day in and day out, working her ass off, trying to have that. And one day I was about 14 years old. It was my first week of high school, actually. And I was up late one night doing one of my assignments, because I give assignments that early. And I saw a infomercial that was essentially one of those get-rich-quick scheme infomercials. You know, I've made $20 million in 1 month with, you know, this real estate program or this stock program. I don't remember exactly what it was. But I looked at it and I thought, you know, holy shit, that's an amazing life. And I was just 14 at the time, but my original goal was, and only a few people know this, is my original plan was to steal my mother's credit card, to buy the program for like, you know, 8 easy payments of $99.95 or whatever it was, and, you know, make a bunch of money. I wasn't trying to get $100 million first. I was just trying to do a few million in that first month. And then before the bill came in, I was just going to give her the card back, give her the money, and say, you know, we can buy the house now. You're welcome. I know I stole your credit card, but look what your son's done. It was a total scam, obviously. But what happened is through that, I found just an online forum of just a bunch of marketers. And in probably the second stupidest decision of my life, which turned into a great decision, I went on there and I said, my name's Ali. I'm a 14-year-old boy. And I'd like to be mentored by one of you guys. I want to buy my mom a house. And luckily, I didn't get kidnapped or anything, but everyone was very cool. And, you know, just because of my age and because they saw that I had that drive and that passion, all of the biggest names, you know, Gary Halbert, Mike Filsaime, a lot of those guys who were in the marketing world back then and still are, they were more than willing to take me under their wing and help me and teach me marketing. And while everybody else was studying for the SATs and going to parties, I was all of my high school life just up until probably 3 or 4 in the morning studying, you know, marketing, doing campaigns, stuff like that. And by 16, I was speaking in front of sold-out seminars. At 16 and a half, I made the Lorenz Marketing Group. At this point now, we have clients ranging from small businesses to multi-million-dollar international corporations. Forbes listed me as one of the 10 consultants who avoid the bullshit. And I was the only marketing consultant on there. That was pretty cool. And I was nominated 2012 Marketer of the Year, and I actually just today got an email saying I'm a finalist for the 2013 Marketer of the Year with the American Business Awards.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And actually, one last thing, not to toot my own horn, but I just got back from Washington, D.C., where I was invited to speak at the speak and talk to other people at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and I was just put on their Small Business Advisory Board as well. So that's the quick and dirty on myself.
So you started the organization you have now, the Lorenz Marketing Group, at 16 and a half.
About 16 and a half, but I was doing marketing before that. 16 and a half was when I finally solidified it into an actual marketing firm.
How the hell do you start a business at 16 and a half? Like, how do you even comprehend what business means in the sense of to this magnitude? I mean, it wasn't like you just started a lemonade stand at 16.
No, exactly. I think that a big part of it came from my mother. She had always been an entrepreneur. She ran her own business. And I think just from that, especially because I saw her going from, you know, not being successful and just starting out all the way to being successful as she is now, I've seen the full scope of what owning and starting a business is. You know, I haven't just seen people be successful to where I think I'm going to start my own business and, you know, 24 hours later I'm going to be riding a yacht down the ocean or something. I think that was the major part of it, is I had that goal in my mind of what I wanted. I knew that I never wanted to be in a situation, at least when I was older, to where I had to sort of struggle for things or I guess compromise. I never really wanted to compromise on whether or not I wanted to eat at a nice place or go on a vacation. I never wanted to have to ask anybody, frankly, to get a few days off for vacation to go somewhere with my wife. And I think that was really the main driving force behind it. I'd always been entrepreneurial, but now I had this goal of what I wanted to do. And because of my mentors, I had a very succinct way of solidifying that goal into a real physical thing versus just a mindset of I want to be rich when I'm older, I want to have money when I'm older.
So when you think about like education, how did that play into your success since you were so young and being successful already?
Do you mean education in terms of education at school or education
at school?
Mentors?
Well, no. Education is all around us, but I'm referring, for now, I'm just referring to the idea of college or high school even at 16 and a half.
Well, definitely my high school teachers, from their words and everyone else's, I was always a relatively smart, bright kid. So they would always pull me aside because, like I said, I was staying up all night doing marketing. I wasn't studying for my tests or anything. They would pull me aside and they'd say, you know, Ali, you're really throwing your life away right now. You're not doing well on your tests. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. And as much as I would try to convince them, don't worry, I'm going to be successful. I'm doing marketing. While they were supportive and while even my mom was supportive, I could still see the twinkle in their eye that was just sort of like a pitiful, like, you're going to look back on this one day and you're just going to wish, you know, you had gotten good grades, you had done all this stuff. And that's really what high school was for me, frankly. But college, I'm still going to college. I'm at USC right now. And that's, I think, at least from a marketing standpoint, what I've noticed, and what I've noticed from lots of business owners in general, is the successful ones never stop learning. The successful business owners are always... The successful business owners are really always learning about whatever field they're in and whatever other fields they're looking at. And that's especially true of marketing. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm so successful, is I've always had a burning passion to learn about everything. I'm the guy who just won't shut up about, you know, some random fact they learned on Discovery Channel or how, you know, the lungs work or something like that. And as weird as it may sound, that stuff does come in useful, whether it's the passion aspect or whether it's actually knowing about the industry that you're trying to sell a product in. It does come in very, very useful. So I think that education as a whole, while I think that college is useful for some industries and not as much for others, I think that just the act of acquiring knowledge is extremely important regardless of whatever industry you're in.
So I fully agree with you. I think education, like I said, is all around us. And if we close our minds to learning every day, then we're closing our minds to growing, which is ridiculous in every way. So I think one of the things that I want to talk a little bit about is you said at 14 you threw yourself out there on a forum, randomly, not knowing better, putting your name out there and asking for help.
Full name, age, everything.
So before someone kidnapped you and something bad happened,
exactly.
At least somebody reached out to you and kind of started a mentor-mentee relationship with you, right? So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. How do the dynamics of such a relationship work? And what was your biggest learning as to like what tips do you have for people who do look for mentors every day? And what should they be expecting to give and to receive in a sense?
Well, I think that what you just asked is very important because they should also be expecting to give something in return. Nobody will ever work, you know, for too long for free. And I think that's one of the things that I showed with my age and my drive is that I never gave up because I definitely got no's a few times from these people at first, just from their gatekeepers knowing how busy they were and, you know, they're just sort of pre-programmed to say no to the first few times you ask. And frankly, nothing was going to stop me. I had my solid idea of who I wanted to work with and who I wanted to mentor me. And no matter how many times I heard no or no matter what happened, I was still dead set on getting that mentorship. And I think that's the real reason why these people sort of gave way and allowed me to talk to their bosses or whoever it is because anybody can just ask, hey man, will you teach me how to do marketing? Hear a no and say, okay, well that sucks. I'm going to go off and ask somebody else. And that translates to them not being successful in marketing or whatever industry they're going to be in regardless, just because they don't have that drive. They don't have that balls to the wall, gun to your head attitude. And I think that if someone's going to be spending all of that time and energy teaching you their secrets and teaching you what has made them successful, they need to know that it's going to come back to them, whether it's them getting the recognition from other people in the industry that they're the reason you are successful, or whether it's them getting, you know, free press from you down the line because, you know, you've become something, or whether it's just them knowing that they're the reason that you're able to go off and help other people. I think they need to know that if they're spending, you know, even 10 minutes a day, because that's a pretty sizable amount of time. You can do a lot of stuff in 10 minutes. If they're spending 10 minutes a day teaching you their secrets, that when the going gets tough, you're still going to keep on pushing through. You know, like a lot of my mentors aren't even here anymore. Some of them have passed away. And I think that's one day when I'm looking, when I'm old and wrinkling or whatever, and I'm looking for someone to teach, that's a major thing I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at, do they have the drive?